amateur cocky fighters get owned. One of the secrets to winning a bout is never to allow your opponent to notice fear in you. Some fighters do this by making boastful comments or even acting cocky as if they've got everything under their control. But the reality is far different. In this video, you're about to see cocky amateur fighters get owned. They act as if they're the real masters and no one in the world can fight them. But in reality, they don't stand a chance against legit professional fighters. Let's get started then. A legit boxer versus fake Wing Chun master. Now it's showtime for one of the most underrated macho clowns getting beat up by a real fighter. This macho man is going to fight against this feverish boxer, but the boxer will only be using his right hand to do all the chores. The match starts with counterpunching and blocking. At this point, both of them look furious and are ready to take each other. But Macho's breakneck is nothing compared to this legendary fighter. And finally, the match ends with a quick right hook to his jaw. I wonder how he was able to defend himself with a single hand. It takes effort and skill. What kind of competition is it anyway? The Macho Man with full strength and no limits, while the boxer's restricted to using his one hand? But this fight shows that no matter how much you fake it, you're never gonna make it. Kickboxer versus fake Tai Chi master. What's common for all fake martial arts gurus is that they all look lost in a real fight. This couldn't get further from the truth when it comes to our next video in which an amateur fighter took on a legit kickboxer. And this video also shows you how important it is to keep your hands up. The fight itself ended up as a 5-second knockout. What's interesting, however, was that Tai Chi guy didn't even know what to do. I mean, he stood in front of the kickboxer like they were about to dance. Open the video below and just watch his footwork. No touch master versus Muay Thai fighter. We truly believe that the minds of those no touch masters run at some weird frequencies. I mean, they're the worst type of masters as they believe to have the power to sleep the rival without even touching them. It's fair to say they're even worse than point touch masters who at least touch their rivals. So what happens when the not touch master wakes up from the dream and realizes his skills don't work in real life? Well, the video below shows it all. It's weird how those fake masters don't even know how to hold their hands up. Juan versus Mansour Bonawi. If you're planning to intimidate someone by pushing your forehead into them, make sure you don't implement this guy's strategy, because he delivered the proposal, but his execution was complete trash. Minutes into the fight, you see the cocky Juan getting pummeled, getting kneed in the waist, punched in the face, and thrown all over the place by Mansour. The cocky fighter just stood no chance. We guess that's why he overcompensated in his initial introduction. This is what happens when you bite off way more than you can actually chew. You end up eating this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The fight ends with the amateur Juan tapping out after being held in submission. Javier versus Quincy Westby. This is Westby, another arrogant fighter who believes he has the upper hand over his opponent Rodriguez. However, that wasn't the case. During the 5th round, Westby finds himself at the end of a vicious left hook that completely dismantled him and sent him straight to the ground. He was so perplexed that even his legs got crossed and mixed up as to where to go. His stunt body lay there, probably wondering, where did that come from? It's hard to tell here, but if you really look closely, you can see the soul leave his body just ever so gracefully on his descent. Xu Xiaodong MMA versus Dong Hao Wing Chun. This video shows MMA fighter Xu Xiaodong, famous for beating down fake masters, taking on a Wing Chun master, Ding Hao. The thing is, Hao was one of the best Wing Chun masters, but he ended up being just another of Dong's victims. Dong beat him up without even breaking a sweat. What's more, the famous master Hao didn't want to play by the rules of a street fight, so the two have just fought in the stand-up without ground fighting. Seeing what Dong did to him with strikes, maybe it was a mistake on Hao's part to exclude ground fighting. Being submitted is often less painful. Stevenson versus Thomas Williams. Here's another interesting fight that we can get into. Stevenson and Williams fought out close and personal, striking each other with force, looking to beat down their opponent. In the middle of the fight, when everything was going according to Williams' plan, he decides to do an awkward, weird dance. And guess what? The cocky fighter gets knocked out soon after by Stevenson. Down goes another one. It's one thing to celebrate a victory, but someone needs to remind him that you need to win to celebrate. No Touch Master versus Kickboxer. Let me tell you an interesting thing. Some martial artists think they can win fights and take their opponents down without even touching them. Sounds crazy? I told you so. They're known as No Touch Masters. One of these takes on a kickboxer. He didn't even raise his hands as he thought things will work out as he thought, but that's not what happened. He gets hit with a strong jump kick from the kickboxer, and that was enough to bring the amateur no-touch master back to his senses and start touching. Although the no-touch master didn't love to do it, he tries a hook, but it doesn't land. The kickboxer took advantage and ended the fight by punching him right in the face. The $5,000 challenge. Here we have an amazing fight between a legitimate fake master versus an MMA fighter. To show off to his students, he challenged the MMA fighter Sayoki Yakuza for $5,000. In the first round, the fighter just tries to dodge his attacks, but as soon as he realizes he's fake, the MMA fighter jumps on him. On the second try, he immediately delivers a series of punches and kicks to his face and knocks the fake master to the ground. At the end of the match, he was not even embarrassed in front of his students, but also had to give the MMA fighter a large sum of money. Frank Sanchez versus Julian Fernandez. Julian Fernandez wouldn't have realized it at the moment, but he was lucky that someone invented boxing rings with ropes around the outside. Backed against the ropes, Fernandez just keeps taunting his opponent as though he's the one dishing out the blows. It's one thing to taunt while you're dominating a fight. It's a whole other story when you're the person that's getting the hell beat out of you. The skillful Sanchez mostly battered the cocky Fernandez before he knocked him out of the ring just after the midway mark of the 7th round. Fernandez fell between the second and third ropes onto the ring apron, dazed and confused. The referee started to count, but he quickly realized Fernandez was in no condition to continue. Well, that's it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed watching the amateur cocky fighters getting owned by professional fighters. For more interesting videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also press that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.